it's me, Percita, and this is Percita's Paradox. We are here. It is spring. We are springing. Happy Tuesday. If you're a new subscriber, thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate your time. And if you are an OG and always on my side, got my back, sub, I greatly appreciate you as usual. So today we are talking about our end of the month goals that we had for the top of the year. Typically, we would make it somewhere near, the idea of a New Year resolution. We all know about it. Typically, it has something to do with health or, something of the sort, because it's very easy for us to get into a mindset of talking about, just what we're going to do different with our physical body or, our goals in regards to our financial aspirations if we're going to vacation and stuff like that. So I didn't expect anything major from you, but I definitely wanted you to start the dialogue with yourself to figure out what you're trying to do. And then I wanted you to go further beyond the try and to actually execute. And I wanted you to set a goal for something that you could manifest within 90 days. Now, some of you have already contacted me and let me know that you manifested your goals and you're on a whole new goal. And I think that is fan-flipping-tastic. Absolutely fantastic. And in the exact same breath, some have already said that, you didn't really have anything exciting to report and you were a little disappointed in yourself. And, before we go any further, let me be clear on there's nothing wrong with being disappointed in yourself. But remember, the goal is to always forgive yourself before you really get into a ditch of disappointment that you can't really get out of. Things happen. Things are not always the way we want. And sometimes they're just completely out of our control. So you want to be able to kind of give yourself that leeway. Now, I get it. If you weren't able to do the things you wanted to do and you yourself just kind of half-assed it and you feel as if there could have been something you could have done better with yourself, assess that, really pay attention to what you're saying, but then really stop that trend within yourself, within your work ethic, within your characteristic. Just stop. And what I mean by that is just understand that the feeling that you're feeling, be aware of it, be very, very conscious of it. And whenever you feel from this moment forward that you don't want to execute or you're feeling lazy or you're feeling as if you have plenty of time to get stuff done, remember this feeling. Remember what you're feeling right now in order to get you over that hump. Because there is nothing worse than allowing yourself to wallow in disappointment and I'm going to call it mental emotional fatigue that you do not forgive yourself quick enough in order to get yourself to the next level. Now, again, we all get it. We have all been there for short-term situations, for long-term situations, hell, just for the day. We have all had things that we needed to do or needed to execute and we did not do it. But we are not about bashing each other on this channel. This is a growth channel. So I want you to feel as if you can come and say that and you will not be belittled or put down or put in a position where you feel as if you're not keeping up. You're keeping up. You just have to understand that even in that keep up, you can do better. And that's the goal that we want to go for. So in regards to little old me, I had a few things that I wanted to definitely execute, and some I was not quite complete on doing in the 90 days. I'm about 89.999% solidified. But for the things that I really wanted to execute and make sure that I accomplished, I definitely wanted to of course, talk about that today. Of course, I mean, that's the good stuff. And also touch bases on some things that I think could help everyone moving forward in my lapse of fulfilling a particular task, and also the premise of just moving forward and what we need to do going forward with our goals. So first things first. First thing that I wanted to make sure that I did for myself was really spend the time to really focus on what I want it to look like. Now, that might sound crazy for some, but for me, it's always been kind of a hodgepodge. I didn't really have a direction on what I specifically wanted to do. And I'm pretty eccentric, so I don't really have a particular style. I'm not identified as really classy or trendy or any of those things. I'm kind of a hodgepodge of all of them. But at this age of my fashion career, let's just say that, I decided that I wanted to do things a little bit different. So I'm really excited to say that I have honed in on that and the way that I want to be in that genre. And that has taken some time of really moving through the idea of what my age bracket should and shouldn't be wearing, and how I should and shouldn't approach fashion, and really trying to decide on if I'm really going to focus on trends or not. And, as crazy as that sounds, it's like you really don't recognize how good you feel about yourself until you pay attention to how well you dress. And your dressing has a lot to do with your outward expression. That's the reason why so many fast fashion brands have come out now with all the lounge wear, and everyone's wearing pajamas outside, and everything is to transition from lounge to outside wear, simply because of the fact that most of us for the last year have been in our pajamas 5-6 days out of the week. And it has grown very complicated to feel like you want to get up and get dressed again. Now, for a few of us who are like, girl, I just can't wait. Yeah, I get that. I'm not telling you that you couldn't. I'm simply saying that the reason why fashion has moved into that realm is for that reason. And because of that, it's caused a lot of us to not really want to get up and get dressed and be in heels and all of this type of stuff. Now, I'm not the kind of person that was that way to start, but I definitely say that the older I get, the more I realize that the femininity that I'm hoping to portray does require a little bit of a heel. I mean, it does. So I had to kind of make that transition in my brain and with my feet, and have a nice come to Jesus moment with them to let them know that these are some things that I want to do. So there's the first thing that I definitely want to touch on, because that was fantastic. And I'm so excited that I actually executed and started that trend within myself. The other thing is that I wanted to make sure specifically that I'm spending more individual time with my children. Now I have one adult child, and then I have a mid-adult child, and then I have a 6th grader. And you can imagine the range of emotions that you go through, with the ability to be able to talk to each one of them on their own particular level, and then the exact same breath to be able to actually interject into their lives properly, right? Because they all want you, and they all typically want you in my household at the exact same time. So I'm learning how to individualize the time, because, I think families have a lot of conversation where they talk about family time and coming together. But I will say that it's something that I noticed within my own home, that each child wants their own individual time outside of family time. And it was very important for me to actually come into an agreement with my own time table and my expectations of what I expect to do for myself, and the idea that I'm a little selfish, because when I am in a position of wanting to have downtime, that does not necessarily incorporate me trying to be a mom. Does that make sense? Because I've been very focused on self-care and self-love and self, that I've had to come to the idea that I cannot do that solely. I have to actually find some time to still be mom, and to still give them the best parts of me that they need in order to build better people within themselves. And I say that to give you the different age brackets, because it's very interesting how you would think the oldest would require more adulting, but it's actually my youngest, which is kind of funny to me. The oldest, I feel as if he is an adult, right? So he's clear on adulting. And when he comes to me, it's really more of a nurturing, making sure everything is okay kind of a vibe. Just the love and the hug, and to be able to actually express himself. Fantastic. In the exact same breath, my junior in college, who is pursuing her law degree in her postgrad, of course she's in her undergrad, just requires something completely different. And it's not what you would think. You would actually think it would be something along the lines of school, or just the growing up of what it is. And in it too is a little bit more on the nurturing side. I feel as if our young adults these days are really self-propelled. So there's not a lot of, true direction they feel like they need. They're more in a position of actually looking for a rudder to give them a small bit of guidance or turn when necessary, not necessarily the adulting that I feel like I was looking for at their age, which is kind of strange because of the fact we're so taught and so caught up in what we think we should be doing that we sometimes just put our own expectations onto our children And I'm just learning slowly but surely to be able to give them what they need when they need. And that just came from the idea of spending the personal time with them individually. And it's amazing because in spending that personal time with each, you then understand what society is really doing in reference to the people that you love, right? Now, it's very interesting when we give our examples for the things that we think that our loved ones need, but it's very, 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 very intense to find out that the things that you think they need, they don't need. And I'm just expressing it for anyone who's watching, who has children of any age, and you typically group your kids together because, for, I was going to say cost effective, that too, but for time management, diversity, and the premise that we're all in a space of really trying to teach our children all at once through Zoom and this homeschooling and things of that nature, I will say that it is still crucially important to spend the individual time with them. And I think it's even more important now that we're all basically stuck with each other more often than usual. And it would seem as if you wouldn't need to do it now, but I feel like it's more required than ever because it just seems like everything else that they're doing is just falling into this very strange conglomerate of everyone's feelings should be in a melting pot, and we should all understand what everyone's going through, and we don't really give our children in particular, maybe even our spouses, the ability to be able to still be an individual. So that was my second thing. My third thing that I have absolutely accomplished, I've been working on it for a while, but I would say in 2020 and the beginning of this year, I've pretty much mastered it. For many, many years, we've always been told that you want to have multiple streams of income. But truthfully, for me, I've recognized that multiple streams of income does not mean multiple jobs or multiple facets of things. For me, it's actually all been encompassed within one roof. And it's been an amazing scenario, meaning I've been able to branch out in different genres of the exact same business that I'm in and to be able to tap in every single aspect of it. And that has been phenomenal because I've always been told, Percita, make sure you have this and you have that and you have this stock and maybe some extra real estate here and that. And yeah, and that's cool. Don't get me wrong. Still can tell you that works. But what I find to be more rewarding and more self-serving in regards to what I want to see and be tangible in and just my time overall has been to actually identify within myself and within my business the different facets that I can actually explore within that. And that has been fantastic. So I've taken a 1-tier business into a 4-tier business by still incorporating everything within that business and still utilizing the exact same tools, which is comical, to be able to actually build 4 additional streams of income. Now, I'm not going to go into specifics because obviously this is my business, but I will say that whatever you're doing and however you're doing whatever you're doing, you might want to sit back and actually figure out how you might be able to make additional money in what you're already doing instead of actually looking for something else and having to lean on someone to be able to give you the direction. You really might want to consider that. So that's just a tidbit that I want to share to make sure that I'm also giving as I'm giving you my update on life. So this video might be a little boring today. My apologies, but I promised a lot of people that I would break down what I have been doing, and this is where I need to be today to fulfill those. So for the new people, I do apologize. On Thursday, we'll go and talk about some other things, but today we're just doing our recap. So I think that's really the best part of what I'm saying that I've learned in that space of multiple streams of income. It does not have to mean multiple businesses. You don't hear that very often. You don't hear that pushed in regards to, just the small things that we do. Meaning, if you can imagine yourself, giving you an example, if you're a baker and you're thinking about simply baking things, you can also do, prepackaged things. You can also do kits. You can also do a recipe log. You could also do a membership, subscriptional thing for people who want to get your recipes, meaning they're all within the same genre, right? They're not actually veering from the one thing that you do, which makes it a little bit more easy for you in regards to quality management and also in regards to just the way and the effort that you put things out. And if you're like me, branding's everything. And if your name is on it and you were involved in it, you want it to be of excellence. So just wanted to share that. So there we have it. I mean, for me, that has been the 3 things that I've been able to accomplish. Now, what you don't really know about me is that I'm also in my doctorate program, and hopefully, very soon I'll be able to put some letters behind my name that gives me even more validity in what I speak and how I speak to you, and why my opinions may matter to you a little bit more with, a little bit more education behind me. So in that, I have had to try to figure out a better way to study, because if you've ever gone to college or anything of that nature, you understand that school is difficult as is, but post-grad is even more complicated and requires a lot, especially when you're already in the grown-up ship of life and you are already, of course, married and have lives and work and blah, blah, blah. So what I was trying to accomplish that I don't really feel like I've mastered, which is this 89.9% thing we talked about, is my time management in regards to my study. And I will say that I'm working on that diligently. So I ask that you continue to just lift me up and know that that is what I'm trying to do. But that's my thing that I have not mastered. But soon, very soon, we'll be able to put some letters behind my name and become a little bit more ridiculous and overly opinionated. And I can't wait, because then you won't be able to tell me anything, because OMG, I will be a doctor. So that's it. That's really all I have today for you. Just wanted to touch bases, of course, like I told you, and really figure out where you were. But of course, you can't rebut to me by any way but comments or your emails, and I appreciate that. But here's my update, and I want to be very clear on it. It was an amazing journey to be able to do it, but also to be able to come back and report to you exactly what I have accomplished. So as always, thank you so much for joining me. Always remember, in everything we do, remember to do 3 things. Live life authentic, no matter what, under all circumstances, no matter how it feels. Live your life authentic. That's it. That is all. Okay, I'll see you on Thursday. Thank you so much, and have a blessed day.